what's going on, y'all? So, I'm giving y'all I guess you could say super late because this was Saturday. So, but before I go on a little mini vacation to go celebrate my sister's birthday, I wanted to give y'all this review since I haven't done one in a long time. So, to give y'all this review for Elimination Chamber. Now, only 4 matches on the card, so therefore there's not a lot to talk about. But they did start off with, I don't know if there was a pre-show. I didn't check to see if there was a pre-show match, but they did start off the Elimination Chamber with the women's, I was about to say Asuka, the women's Elimination Chamber match, and that was a decent match. I won't say it was too bad, but it could have been a lot better, but it was a decent match. Out of the 2 Elimination Chamber match, the women's had the only, like, spearing somebody through the pod, moment. The signature moment of the Elimination Chamber where somebody get put through the pod. That only happened in the women's one, so. And it looked like it should have happened. You thought it was going to happen in the men's one, but it didn't. It looked like, I think Bronson Reed, it was supposed to happen with them, but the pod didn't give, or maybe they just didn't plan on it. But it looked like he was supposed to have that spot in the men's one. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So the women Elimination Chamber match was for the right to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, and it like I said, it was okay. I wouldn't say it was overt. It was one of the best matches of the night. Cause trust me, there's 2 more candidates for that. But it was a decent match with Asuka eliminating Carmella. I can't remember who all in the order everybody got eliminated, but I know the last 2 was Asuka and Carmella, and Asuka submitted Carmella to go to WrestleMania to face Bianca Belair. There was no promos, but they did start there for those who been around long enough to see them when they went to Hollywood the first time with WrestleMania. They started their whole little wrestlers doing movie character things. I like the fact that they had and this happened later on in the night too. This was a night right after this, but I just thought about it and I just wanted to mention it so I don't forget that they had Seth Rollins doing the Jacqueline Phoenix Joker, and then Beth Phoenix was supposed to be doing not Beth Phoenix, but Becky Lynch was supposed to be doing the Kristen Bale Batman voice, but instead of being Batman, she was just the man, and they had a man cave. Oh, wow, okay. But yeah, the next match was Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, and that was probably if anything, I would say this was the worst match. It started out okay, but it was just the worst match because it only went 5 minutes. If I would say 5 minutes at the very least, and maybe possibly 7 or 8, but most likely it was 5 because the match was over pretty soon after the bell rang. Not super soon, but it was at least 5 minutes in, and then the bell rang for the ending. Now we all know that whoever won was going to face Bray Wyatt and possibly some interference from Uncle Howdy at WrestleMania. So this match had some stipulations on it as well, and you would think the way how they built it up, it was going to be a good, maybe not because of Brock Lesnar, maybe not a long match, but it was going to be longer than 5 minutes. They exchanged some holds. They hit each other with basically L5s or spears. Bobby Lashley did multiple attempts at the Hurt Lock, only to get reversed, and then Bobby took multiple L5s, just like Brock Lesnar took multiple spears, and finally where Bobby Lashley did get the Hurt Lock on, and Brock Lesnar couldn't break out of it. He low blowed Bobby Lashley and got himself disqualified, giving, like I said, says disqualification, and gave Bobby the victory that way. I don't know what to say about that. That was horrible. Then Brock Lesnar basically just beat down Bobby Lashley, put him through a table with an F5, and then he beat down the referee and F5 him too. So I don't know that. I don't know what they was doing with that. Like the only reason, and one of the other reasons why I said this was horrible too. That what was the point of all this build up if you wasn't gonna let them actually have a match? They just basically wrestled for 5 minutes and then the match ended with a DQ because Brock couldn't get out the Hurt Lock. I don't know. That was weird. But we're gonna keep going. We got the next match, which is Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Judgment Day. That's why I said Beth Phoenix earlier, because when I was talking about Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, because I actually looked down my notes and saw Beth Phoenix. But yeah, so this match now. This is one of the two matches I was referring to where I could say it was like the best match of the night. Like, and no, not the other one is not Roman versus Sami. It is actually because not saying Roman versus Sami was bad or horrible. It's just that it wasn't good enough to be saying like, okay, it wasn't better than these next two matches, which is like I said, Beth Phoenix and Edge versus Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor, with Dominic Mysterio at ringside. This match was good. This was a good match. I mean, it was good. The matchup with Edge and Finn Balor, both Rhea and Beth stealing the show. They stole the show. Like they both, they know how to play with the fact that Beth Phoenix was like that woman when she was like full-time wrestling, where she could act like, she was in the Man's Rumble. She could manhandle women, men and women, all that type of stuff. And they really trying to play up that angle. Like, there's not too many women that could do that. I think it was just like Chyna, Jacqueline, Beth Phoenix, and Rhea Ripley. Jacqueline, she manhandled some men before too. She was a diesel little thing. But yeah, this match was good. They had the great spots. I love the one part where Rhea had Beth and she was like, "I'm going Edge." She kept screaming for Edge. He said, "Edge, I'm going to kill your wife." I'm like, what? What type of stuff is this? Dominic got some interference in trying to help Rhea and Finn Balor get the victory, but in the end, the Grit couple took the victory, and hopefully now putting this whole rivalry with Judgment Day behind them and moving on to some other things. Because Edge did say in the ring, like, "We're done. You're in my rear view now." So the next match, which is the men's Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship. Now, going into this, before I get into this match, I want to let you guys know I didn't expect this to be a good match. A match for the United States. This never happened before. We never had an Elimination Chamber that I could think of. Let me know in the comments if we have. But I don't think we ever had a secondary title like the United States and the Intercontinental Championship be like the focal point of an Elimination Chamber match. And I did not have high expectations for it. And going into this, even with the Beth Phoenix and Judgment Day, Beth Phoenix and Edge versus Judgment Day, I was like, okay, that got to be that and Roman's match are gonna be the best match of the night. And then the match happened, and I'm like, well, I guess I gotta change my mind, because this match was awesome. This was the most. They did their job in making you invest in this match. Going into it, maybe not, but when this match happened, you was in it, because it was nothing but spectacular moments. Montez was the MVP of this match. I would give him all the props. Once he got in the match, he shined, and I mean he shined. And like they said, Angelo Dawkins tweeted, "Go be great." he was great. This match was good, man. And you know, I think just like the women's, I don't think nobody got eliminated until everybody was in the match. Because I think both men and women's, nobody was eliminated until all the competitors was in the match. Then they started eliminating. And just the match just went like that. Damian Priest was good too. I'm gonna give Damian Priest his credit. They let him shine in that match too. I would say the only person who got the least type of shine was actually Austin Theory, at least until the end anyway. But during the beginning moments, because he was like the first. I do remember that. I don't remember who was always eliminated in order, or I can't remember who was eliminated what. But I do remember that Austin Theory was the first to get into the match. He was one. He was one of the people in the pods, and he was the first person to be come out of the pod, which was unique. I never seen that the champion be the first person to enter the match afterwards. Because I think Seth and Johnny Gargano started the match, and then the first person was Austin Theory. I was like, holy crap, that's unique. But that match was good. That match was good. It came down to I do know the final three was Montez, Seth, and Austin Theory, with Austin Theory hitting his finisher on Montez, and then so did Seth to eliminate Montez forward, and then right when Seth looked like he had victory in hand, because they was busy helping Montez forward out the thing. I guess he played up the angle that he was like super hurt and that he couldn't like walk out on his own power. So they had to help him out to get him out of the ring after he was eliminated. Logan Paul comes in and screws Seth, attacks Seth, and then hit Seth on move to stomp on him, and then they finally got him out of the ring, and Austin Theory would hit the 8-count down to retain the United States Championship. Then we get to I'm trying to remember, was there anything else before the final match? No, they just did like a recap of Roman and Sami's history, and then we got to the match. And the match itself was, that crowd, man, they was fully behind Sami. They, from the FU Romans to, they just gave it to him. And I loved it that he played up the angle that nobody was cheering for him, so it was messing with his psyche. But him and Sami would have a good match. It wasn't as good as, the Men's Elimination Chamber or Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Judgment Day, but I would say it was the third best match of the night, just because of the crowd itself. The crowd itself made that match just a good match itself. Montreal crowd was always a good crowd, but Roman and Sami had a good match. They played up the angle, with Roman talking to Sami's wife, and they're saying, I wanted to help you. I wanted you to be a part of my family. I wanted to help you be a part of my family, but he betrayed you. But then Sami at moments, Sami sounded like it was like most of the match, once the tie up and stuff is all done, Roman dominated for half, and then Sami got back in it, and then he was dominating for the rest of it. Then it did the whole momentum swing of back and forth before, and it was like, okay, I liked how they did that. Like one half of the match was just Roman, one half was Sami. Then they did the whole Sami Roman, and but referees get twice. Two referees got knocked out, and people interfered. First it was Jimmy, Paul Heyman even tried, and then Jay ended up coming out, and like he was trying to stop Roman, but then Roman did to him what he did to Sami. He gave the chair to Jay and demanded that he hit Sami with the chair. But Jay's hesitation pissed off Roman to where he kept just like pushing his face, and then Sami tried to spear Roman, but he hit Jay, and then I think Roman hit him with a Superman punch and spear and pinned Sami, and thus it was over with. There was the beat down where Roman and Jay, cause not Jay but Roman and Jimmy was trying to beat down on Sami. Kevin Owens would come out to chase off Roman and Jimmy, and pretty much look at Sami, and Sami would look at Kevin, and like it was almost like Kevin was saying, "I didn't come to help you. I just came to get revenge. Helping you was just an accident, happy accident of me getting revenge on Roman and them." So the next storyline is going for the leading up to WrestleMania is going to be Sami trying to mend his relationship with Kevin Owens. But yeah, that's Elimination Chamber. I would give Elimination Chamber a solid. I give it a 8. I was gonna give it a 7, but I give it an 8 out of 10, just because I enjoy so much of the men's Elimination Chamber match and the Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Judgment Day match and the Roman match. Those three matches saved. Those three matches, because it was only 4 matches, but those last 3 matches saved this Elimination Chamber match and Elimination Chamber pay per view for being like a bad one. Because if it was just like how it was just on the level of the first Elimination Chamber match, the women's and the Bobby Lashley, yeah, this would have been a horrible pay per view, because the first 2 matches was not great, but they wasn't bad, but they was like okay. And you don't want okay, you want good to great. And the first 2 matches was just okay I wouldn't even say okay for Bobby Lashley and Brock. The first match, the women's was okay, but Bobby versus Brock was basically horrible. Like, if anything, it was 4 good matches with 1 horrible match. But yeah, you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed my review. You know what to do. You hit those buttons. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go anywhere. Because you know what I got coming up next. More reactions and more gameplay. So, peace.